YouTubers. Medication time. Medication time. We've got one concurrent viewer. Is it a bot? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a train? Okay, you YouTubers. Oh, we've got 3 concurrent viewers. It says concurrent viewers, now it's 2. Alright, the other night, folks, I did a live stream and it went off on its own. As soon as I started talking about another YouTuber, right, folks, mysteriously, right? Sorry about the light behind me as well, it's a bit, but you don't have to look at me ugly head, you know, right? But that's blaring me. I don't know what to do, you know what I mean? I think changes slightly now. I could say something stupid like it's me halo or whatever. It's not me halo, it's the light. Come on, man, let's get, you know. Okay, what we got? We've got 1 viewer. Alright, so we got Bullman's Beer Reviews. Nah, it's me. Oh, hi there, beer reviews. Wow, this is... I won't be talking about beers tonight, folks. I don't know if you've checked my channel and seen my videos, my uploads. I put like a variation of things. I'm sober tonight. I could review some selenium tea. But yeah, I've got like the other night I was on a live stream, right, folks? And it just went off suddenly because I mentioned another YouTuber. I don't know if it was anything to do with that, but it seems to just go off mysteriously. It hasn't happened before. My streaming software just ended. So if anyone was watching and, you know, it got cut off or whatever, you know, that's the explanation. I think the person I was talking about might have been watching me and she somehow sabotaged my equipment. I don't know. It could have been. I was talking about another YouTuber, right? And the point I was making, I wasn't saying that, like, she was bad or whatever. I was talking about, yeah, it's our Phil. Yo, Phil, how you doing, Phil? How's it going? We got 2 people on board. 2 watches at the moment. Well, yeah, I started talking about this goth girl on my speech the other night, and it just so happened after I mentioned that, as soon as I mentioned the name and everything, right, honestly, well, not a name, you know, a channel, and she's only an alter ego, you know what I mean? She's a goth and she dresses up like a demon, and my computer suddenly went mad and my streaming software just stopped. And I had to just completely end it, but I'd made me points, hadn't I, you know what I mean? I'd spoke about certain things. And tonight, I've got the reason I've come on, I thought, I got reminded yesterday of, like, some of the things from the past that everybody's forgetting about, that was on the news and things like that, right? And you know the way we've got all this stuff happening with, you know, like like we're being, it's like Mars attacks, isn't it? It feels like Mars attacks to me. It feels like we're being invaded by Mars, you know what I mean? I don't even do Christmas anyway, you get me? Like, because I'm just not like that. It's just not my scene. If people want to be happy during the season, it's up to them, isn't it? But I'm not really, you know, I'm quite a boring bastard on that score, you know what I mean? I always was like. But it's as though the Martians are saying, like, you know, stop the Christmas, stop everything, stop. And it's a nutty scenario. But I was thinking, like, I wanted to bring some points up about, like, everything that's going on. I'm going to kind of explain that there is a psyop. It's part of a plan, obviously. There's the television, the news is lying to us, isn't it? It's lying to us about things, right? Now, it's even got to the point, right, where the politicians are on the camera, right, talking about things. And you can't help but think, what are they up to? They're lying about this and that. Like, but do you seriously think, no matter what party was in, whoever the party was in the position, and it'd be exactly the same, whichever politician, whichever member of, you know, we're going to be getting the exact same scenario, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing to do with who's in power or anything. It's above that, isn't it? It's something bigger than that, right? And I wanted to go on about some subjects, right? Now, I had a kind of brainstorm. I was thinking, there's a chain reaction going on here, man, right? Now, think about this, right, folks? We've got all kinds of chaos going on in Europe and everything, right? And this is not nothing to do with the pandemic. This is to do with Brexit, right? And there's all kinds of strange things. I'm going to go down memory lane and kind of show some interesting clips tonight. And if I'm allowed to show them, I'm going to be showing things off other people's YouTube channel to reinforce things that, like, people are forgetting right now that was prevalent in the news a while back, right? And all these things that I'm talking about, right, have led to all the migrants, all the war zones, Syria, the war on terror, the war on drugs. All of these things have led to all the migrants having to leave their countries and come to Britain or go to Germany or go to Sweden, places in Europe where no one wants to make them welcome. Yeah, I've been waiting for your views on this. Excellent. Yeah, this is a serious video film. I'm gonna, like, see if the penny drops and people relate to me, what I'm talking about. Like, the proof that this is not just these, like, world events that are natural. This is something planned. This is something really, it's clever. It's like the devil's in the detail, basically, right, folks? I'm not being religious. This is a fact, right? Now, the migrants, right? The beginning of all of these problems, what is like the first thing that's making people go mad and complain and let's have a what they call it, the vote to get whether Brexit or not, right? The migrants was the main reason, wasn't it, for people to start complaining and going, oh, we're not having people coming to our countries and all that kind of stuff. And then they think that the Brexit thing is basically going to, like, suddenly stop all the migrants or whatever kind of thing, right? And the only thing that's going to stop migrants, it's the wars, isn't it? The war on terror, the war on drugs. These were all done by the Pentagon, Tony Blair or whatever that was in power at the time, not having a go with the party or the person, but I'm trying to prove that point that no matter what party was in, it still have been the same. In my opinion, the second war in Iraq would have started, you know what I mean? Because they want the oil fields, the weapons of mass destruction thing. It was a lie, we all know, right? That was one element of the news. There's proof. The news tells you something. It's not actually happening. There was no weapons of mass destruction. There was even, there was all kinds of law elements and proof to prove that wasn't right. But the war still happened, and there's still migrants and the usual knock-on effect from war zones, right? Now, the Syria thing and those places where the more recent elements that has caused a lot of these problems, what's going on, right? We know that, like, there were wars in them war zones, and it's civilians have to leave the houses. Where are they going to go? The civilians, they're not military people. They're not going to stand and fight and get stuck in and become mercenaries and buy some war paint from the local soldier of fortune shop and put a beret on or a bandana and think they're Rambo, like mercenaries. Because that's what... There's a lot of soldiers out there, guys, that want to carry on fighting even if there's no wars to go to, because they miss it. What we call mercenaries. They'll do it even if they can be, they don't want peace, they want war. A great warrior wants peace as well, don't they? They're prepared to fight, but they want peace, Right, now, all these people want war, don't they? There's got to be people who want war, isn't it, right? Now, the people in Syria and places like that, they were all forced, in Ukraine, and they've all been hit in them zones, and they've got nowhere else to go but foreign countries, have they? You can't blame them. And okay, say they all flood into a particular country, it makes the locals feel uncomfortable, and then they start complaining, right? Now, coupled with, it just so happens a while back in Germany, they've only just released, legally allowed the use of, the Mein Kampf, Hitler's book, to be released to the public in Germany, right? And all the far-right extreme fascist groups, neo-fascist groups in Germany, they would have been like wildfire buying them books, wouldn't they, as soon as it's like, as not that they would have had a copy already, wouldn't they? They'd would have had a copy already, wouldn't they? Read it, like. But loads of people in Germany would have gone out and bought that. Think about the timing, guys. They would have gone out and bought that book for the first time. Adolf Hitler's story about the struggle and we've got to stop this and we've got to stop that, right? And there's a load of migrants all over, you know, being like pushed into Germany, which Angela Merkel actually welcomed and said, well, you know, we'll give. But is she being nice and welcoming them so that they can create a circumstance in Germany where there's uprising and people start fussing about it, right? You know what I mean? Because it seems a bit crazy that they legally allow Mein Kampf to be released to the public just when all this stuff is going on, you know what I mean? Which is going to make loads of neo-fascist right-wing people hate all the immigrants, isn't it? Instead of, you know what I'm saying? They always want to hate someone, don't they? Neo-fascists or whatever, right? Now, here's the crazy stuff, right? This was getting crazy, right? Proof that the news lies, you know what I mean? A reminder to everyone, right, folks? Jihadi John. Remember Jihadi? Everyone remember Jihadi John? You know what I mean? Right, now, I'll shrink myself, right? And I'll show some. I don't know if my videos will allow me to play these vids, you see, right? But I think she allowed 1 million. Yeah. You see, now, she could have been seeming like she's an angel helping everyone. I mean, her name's Angela, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Angel Merkel, right? I'm not having a go on her personal, but it could be controlled, couldn't it? She's got no choice. Mein Kampf is released in the public while there's a load of migrants doing people's heads in. These migrants, they're not to blame, are they, guys? It's not their fault, is it? You know what I mean? We've got to be honest about that. The wars are what's done it, like. Right, now, here's the Jihadi John thing, right? Tony Soprano. Now, remember this fella, Jihadi John. Now, this is the scene of him, like, when he's standing there with the... Hold on, can you see this? Yeah, you can see it, like... Let's put it on the full screen. No, I can still, I'll put it on the full screen, right, so you can see what I'm pointing out. Yeah, I can still read the comments. Oh, this is great, I've got my screen set up so I can do, you know. Alright, now, these are the history of what I've been watching my life. Right, now, this is what we all, how many of you, Phil, you're watching now, right, or any other viewers watching, you've seen the Jihadi John clips on television, maybe, the news clips, right? How many of you have seen this one? Leaked the footage. I'll press play, right? Okay, tell me if you've seen this clip, if anyone's aware. I'll go back to the start. This is Jihadi John in the studio filming the beheading scene. You know, the beheading of a so-called hostage that David Cameron, right, said, you know, this guy has cut his head. Remember, right, let's just watch the clip so you know what I mean, right? Now you can see someone filmed this secretly, right? No one talks about this clip. No one talks about it, you know what I mean? It's very important because it's proven. What I'm proving is the whole thing, they're supposed to have killed this man with the drone attack in somewhere in the desert, in some foreign country, aren't they? A couple of years back, they hit a drone, killed Jihadi John. So we're talking about this man here, who is acting on a stage, pretending to behead. Look, he's doing the act there. That's the bit when he pretends to behead. And watch, I'll go back again. You see, because they dub it, don't they? Obviously, they put, like, superimpose it later on and like, CGI, don't they? Oh, here we go. See, that's the bit when he's meant to be slicing his, you know, Oscars and the nominees for the best news, you know, British news report, telling us that this man is an evil terrorist. Jihadi John. Right, there's the stage. I've spoken to my brother about this and things like that. I said, have you seen the clip of Jihadi John when he's like, right, now this is the crux, right? This is what I'm saying, right? Well, we'll leave it running so you can, you know, you can watch, right? Now, remember when they showed the real clip on the news saying this Jihadi John has released a clip of him beheading a hostage, right? Remember, the news is still telling us that that's actually real, right? Well, David Cameron came on the telly, right? He was the Prime Minister at the time, right? And David Cameron said, this is very disgraceful, we don't like these kinds of things, right? And then he goes, and if anybody watches this clip on the internet, if anybody's seen, you know the way that they can have monitors, you know, if I watch Pornhub or whatever, like, someone can say, Bruce is watching Pornhub or whatever, like, right? Well, apparently they must have watchdogs, mustn't they? That, like, if you watch something on the news that's like a terrorist thing, right? That's supposed to, like, mean that the people watching it are terrorists as well, right? Do you remember the war on terror, where they would, like, sort of making all kinds of things up to tell people, to accuse people, you know, funded by the USA and the UK, right? Exactly right. Now, David Cameron said on the news, if anybody actually watches the beheading on their computers or privately, they will be deemed as terrorists also and could be arrested. Do you get me? So, if people watch that clip of that person being beheaded, which we can clearly see there, is not real, because there's the stage set there, there's the proof, right? This is a CIA stage, apparently, Phil. Apparently this is the CIA film this. It's their studio, apparently. The Central Intelligence Agency. Man, wow. Must have took them a long time to catch this fella, you know what I mean? Whoa, brilliant work, Central Intelligence Agency. You caught an actor, wow. Well, David Cameron said, if anyone watches the beheading, right, they could be deemed a terrorist themselves. Now, is that like shady Hady or what, mate? Because if you're watching that, I didn't watch it, right? I didn't watch it because, I'll tell you why I didn't watch it. You know, when it was actually, you could actually watch it. I still haven't seen it. I haven't actually seen the actual beheading, right? Whatever it was supposed to be, right? So now you've just seen the stage set. This is the Daily Telegraph. I might get copyrighted, all right? I'm taking a risk here, folks. But this is like, the date on this is like, this is the actual clip, look, from the news, right? This is proof that the news does. We've got a pandemic going on at the moment, and at the moment the vaccine might not be work against the virus mutating and changing all of a sudden, you know, like, and there's a guy called Jihadi John chopping people's heads off that's actually done in a studio. Do you know what I mean, folks? What I'm saying about the news lying through their fucking twisted teeth, yeah. But watch this now in context. This is 2014. This is when it was all actually happening. We're like in a time machine. Let's get serious now. Forget about the stage set. Forget about the stage set. We're watching the news. You know what I mean? And you get the context of what I'm saying, how daft it is, man. Well, this IS has released... let's get... Hold on. IS has released footage of an American journalist, James Wright Foley, being executed. This is an edited video of the threat issued to President Barack Obama by Foley's killer. See how daft it is, like, knowing that we know that it's a state.
This is James Wright Foley, an American citizen of your country. As a government, you have been at the forefront of the aggression towards the Islamic State. You have plotted against us and gone far out of your way to find reasons to interfere in our affairs.
See how stupid
Today,
this sounds now?
Your military air force is attacking us daily in Iraq. Your strikes have caused casualties amongst Muslims. You are no longer fighting an insurgency. We are an Islamic army and a state that has been accepted by a large number of Muslims worldwide.
Now, what else is going on there, right? What are they doing there with the PSYOP? What are the words used there? This is to incite hatred towards Muslims and Islam.
We are an Islamic army and a state that has been accepted by a large number of Muslims worldwide. So effectively, any aggression towards the Islamic State...
Any neo-fascist buying Mein Kampf or whatever will be going, Muslims, Islam. This is an actor on a stage, right? Now, when my brother saw this, he actually watched the beheading, right? Our John actually watched it, right? And I said to him, what did you think of it like? Did it look... And he went, to be honest, it looked false, right? That was his own words, right? No one arrested him. The CIA didn't storm his pad and say, you watched the video, you must be a terrorist. Because that's what David Cameron was trying to do, is make it so that the police have an excuse to arrest us if we would have watched it, right? But no one I know of watched that, right? Now, there's the picture from the original scene, right, on the screen. Now, to an untrained eye, I could be convinced that that's really in the desert. You know what I mean? I could like sort of just quickly look at that and think, wow, that's, you know, but we know it's not, don't we? We know it's not now, right? Now, R. John said the actual beheading thing didn't look real. It looked kind of phony and dubbed, which obviously it must have been, mustn't it, right? And then there was another guy on YouTube who I used to watch who was living in Switzerland and getting grief off loads of Nazis, right? That's where the heart... People think the heart of Nazism is Germany. It's Switzerland. That's where it comes from, you know what I mean? All fascism, all the racial hatred, right? Well, this guy who I used to watch his channel... he was an ex-special forces guy that left the military because he's seen horrible things. He'd been through some hell, you know what I mean? He wasn't just a YouTuber, he was ex-special forces, right? And he's seen this, when this was released, this 2014, when this video was released, he put his video up and he goes, this is a guy who'd been in the special forces said. And he hated Nazis because he was living in Switzerland and being harassed like 24/7, right? He said, this bit here, this horizon here, just behind them, he said, the angle of that horizon in the distance, where there's hills in the background, doesn't realistically match up with this horizon here. And I didn't really know what he was talking about, you know what I mean? But it was on the record that the guy said it, you know, I was thinking, wow, he's actually claiming that's false straight away without any proof whatsoever. So do you understand? That's like, oh, John claimed it was false straight away, right? The guy who I'm talking about watched it and he was like, it's some kind of false clip, right? But now we go to the actual, this is how we were seeing it on the, you know, when you think about what the news is doing right now with the pandemic and everything. This is a news clip, you know what I mean?
Today, your military air force is attacking us daily in Iraq. Your strikes have caused casualties amongst Muslims. You're no longer fighting an insurgency. We are an Islamic army and a state that has been accepted by a large number of Muslims worldwide.
You see, that's inciting everyone to go, you know, anyone who's like already got like a bit of hatred in them, like, and all that kind of, imagine what they're all going to think when they hear those words. So the actual words being said has been crafted by the military to incite Islamophobia. Do you know what I mean? So what is the pandemic doing, man? You know what I mean? If that, like, I mean, right, it's not even real, right? It's not even real, right? Now I'll go back, and there's another one. I shouldn't laugh, really, like, but it's so absurd that they expect us to believe it, like, you know what I mean? Oh man, where's it gone? The Jihadi John, look at all my clips, man. Oh. Jihadi John fake, that's it, right? Okay, now here's another, like, look, it looks so absurd. Now you think of just don't think of like the news reporting on Jihadi John, just think of the way the news reports about anything, like, you know what I mean? Now, when Jihadi John was killed, he was supposed to be hitting a drone strike, wasn't he, somewhere? Now, the guy, he's an actor, isn't he? He's obviously been, if he's in the studio, I thought he might have been psyoped into thinking he was a terrorist or something, and then like what they call a patsy, and then they you know, use him as the, you know, it's his fault he's done this. There's one with 2 Japanese hostages, and it's like so phony. It's unbelievable. Here we go. Targeted, believed to have been killed.
Breaking news as we come on the air tonight. The terrorist known as Jihadi John targeted in a U.S. armed drone strike earlier today. The knife-wielding masked man became a symbol of ISIS after authorities believe he beheaded a number of hostages. Joining us now with late-breaking details is ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross. Brian.
Well, good evening, Juju. He was the face of evil. And the U.S. has been tracking and targeting Jihadi John, a British citizen, for months now. U.S. officials say the airstrike late Thursday was launched by a drone as the target left a building in Raqqa, Syria, and then entered a vehicle. One official told ABC News it was a 100% flawless direct hit.
The world first came to know Jihadi John a little over a year ago.
Are you sure that's not Sacha Cohen doing a practical joke? Hey, Is Sacha Cohen going to make a film called The Life and Times of Jihadi John or something?
He appeared in this video wearing a black mask, holding a knife, and threatening the life of American journalist James Foley. His voice was disguised,
who now has
but he
no
could
head.
not hide his British accent.
You have plotted against us and gone far out of your way to find reasons to interfere in our affairs.
One after another, he presided over the murders of Foley, American Stephen Sotloff, and Peter Kasich, plus 2 Britons and then 2 Japanese
They've all been
hostages.
beheaded.
Our knife will continue to strike the necks of your people.
That knife.
Earlier this year, his true identity was revealed.
Or weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction. My knife.
Of your people.
Earlier this year, his true identity was revealed to be Mohammed Mwazi, seen here wearing an American baseball cap, the son of Kuwaiti parents who emigrated to the United Kingdom. Even as a schoolboy in London, Mwazi was spotted by teachers as having a violent streak. One teacher told the BBC that at the age of 11, he was put in anger management therapy.
We'd find that he'd get very
Phil's
angry.
just made a very interesting point there. Funny how ISIS disappeared under Trump. Exactly, there was no fuss about it, was there? You never heard Trump once go, "We are trying to find ISIS and we are hunting down this Jihadi John. We will make sure that he cannot attack us with his weapons of mass destruction and his cutlery in his kitchen drawer." Weapons of mass destruction, knives and forks and spoons, man. It's so funny. I mean, it's not funny really, right? But that's it. You're right. Now Joe Biden's coming, right? Because he was the arranged. Remember, Hillary Clinton was meant to win the election 4 years ago, wasn't she? Right? And I mean, man, I could talk about this for hours, guys. You understand, right? The psyop of Islamophobia. You can clearly see Islamophobia being spurned on by these clips, right? What's the other one I was talking about? The psyop. Oh, I keep doing it, man, where my train of thought goes. And I feel like someone's trying to put me off, you know, saying saying too much, man. Oh, Barack Obama. When Barack Obama was the president, right? Do you remember his psyop? He opened the Bible. Now listen, guys, I'm not being religious, do you understand? I'm just telling you how the psyop is working. Islamophobia was being promoted there, wasn't it, right? And when Barack Obama, he opened the Bible, didn't he, and publicly on a stand in front of people, right? And he said, remember him by accident saying, because being a Muslim, and he said Christian by accident, and then he went, no, because being a Christian, being a Muslim, because in different worlds and different locations, he was probably pretending to be a Christian or a Muslim to suit the environment, you get me? And he made a mistake by saying both, right? But the same guy, Barack Obama, was seen on camera with a Bible pointing out, what he was actually pointing out was the point in the Bible where King Saul was meant to kill everybody. These people were evil, a race of people that were evil, and he was ordered to kill women, children, the horses, the livestock, everything, and not leave nothing alive, right? Now, God gave him that order, and it's like we're talking about, it's like say we found a nest of cockroaches under our house. We would want everything to go, wouldn't we? The eggs, the you know what I mean, the males, the females, the eggs. That's the best way I can point that out. Why, if back in them days when God was telling someone to kill everything, he's not saying, but Barack Obama pointed it out, didn't he? And a loving God, he was being sarcastic and facetious, right? And he says, and what about a loving God who would kill women and children, right? So he was spurning people to think, yeah, you're right about that. What's this loving God? He'd order King Saul to kill women and children as well. Do you get me? Because they're getting the wires crossed with things in our days, our future stuff. Stuff in the Bible's ancient, isn't it? You know what I mean? So there's a psyop straight away. Barack Obama was trying to encourage non-believers to hate the Bible even more. Then they're telling everyone to have Islamophobia. So you see, it's like a two-sided, three-sided kind of assault on everyone's mind. So no matter what side of the fence we sit on, neutral, this side, that side, pro, against, with, we're all going to agree with our perspectives because the television's like entwined our minds to think in a particular way, you know what I mean? But the absurdity of this, man, you know. Here we go, let's just carry on
and
watching.
Worked up. And it would take him a long time to calm himself down.
Flaunting his role as executioner once he joined ISIS, with his piercing eyes and gravelly voice, Emwazi became one of the world's most wanted men. In a statement to ABC News, the parents of murdered hostage James Foley said the airstrike against Jihadi John was of small solace. Quote, "This huge effort to go after this deranged man filled with hate when they can't make half that effort to save the hostages while these young Americans were still alive. It's unfortunate that the government doesn't get it. They think it gives us solace, but it doesn't."
Okay.
U.S. officials tonight say they presume that Emwazi was killed in the drone strike based on what they observed of the hit. The vehicle he was in burst into flames, and one official said Jihadi John essentially evaporated, Juju.
Wow, Brian, could this be a turning point in the battle against ISIS?
Hold on, what did this... Jihadi John evaporated. Let's get that again. So that's... He evaporated, right? You mean he was given a condominium and £5 million in the bank and allowed to move to Barbados?
Official said Jihadi John essentially evaporated, Juju.
Wow, Brian, could this be a turning point in the battle against ISIS?
Certainly, the U.S. hopes so, and it will certainly give the ISIS leaders there a pause about how effective the U.S. was in tracking down this one top target. Can they
More
be
like the CIA put a bullet in his head so he couldn't tell anyone about the stage set. Phil's having a laugh. It's so funny though. It's like, I can't believe it, to be honest. Like, now, look, imagine us in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years' time watching the pandemic news clips, man. What are we going to be saying?
For others
you know what I mean? Let's look
thanks to you,
forward,
Brian,
man.
for that
Let's
update and for
forward.
staying on top of the story for more than a year. Of course, we'll have complete coverage on GMA first thing in the morning, and
What
we're
a
online
world
with the
we're in,
latest
man.
24/7 at abcnews.com.
Right, okay, let's go to let's have a look.
ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross tonight on the demand for money and whether it will be met.
He is the personification of terror, back tonight as brutal and evil as ever in what appears to be his sixth such video. Dubbed Jihadi John because of his British accent, the masked ISIS spokesman now threatens to behead these two Japanese citizens if the terror group doesn't receive a $200 million ransom by Thursday.
You now have 72 hours to pressure your government in making a wise decision.
One of the Japanese hostages, described only as an adventurer, was captured by ISIS last August.
Why you have gun?
In this dramatic video, where he was accused of being a CIA spy.
CIA.
The other hostage is a veteran Japanese reporter.
They're all attacking each other.
Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said today, no.
CIA spy, someone's saying CIA spy, right? Now, if we know that these beheadings are fake, right, then it's probably likely that these two guys are CIA agents, aren't they? Working, posing as victims, like.
Ransom by Thursday.
You now have 72 hours to pressure your government in making a wise decision.
Why you here?
One of the Japanese hostages, described only as an adventurer, was captured by ISIS last August.
Why you have gun?
In this dramatic video, where he was accused of being a CIA spy.
CIA.
The other hostage is a
So
veteran.
what happened there is, like, ISIS had caught that guy. He was what they call an adventurer. You know, the people that go backpacking and travelling everywhere, like. And ISIS had caught him, and they were accusing him of being a CIA agent. What on earth, honestly? You know why I don't use the word special, guys? You know, everyone says special, special, special. You know why I don't use the word special anymore? I say sacred. You know what I mean? Sacred. I don't say special anymore, because what's right in the middle of it? Like a big CIA, isn't it? Right in the middle, like.
Japanese reporter. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said today no ransom would be paid.
We've seen in the past that
We're not paying money.
ISIS has carried through on their...
The Japanese president said, "We are not paying ransom for a couple of actors to stop them get their clothes creased when they move for the camera."
threats like this to execute hostages. So the outlook is obviously quite grim.
Tonight, U.S. analysts are looking for
They look
any
terrified,
clues the
don't
new
they?
ISIS propaganda video may reveal. studying the background setting, the shadows for time of day, the knife, the eyes. And to the dismay of U.S. officials, the video comes despite months of airstrikes meant to the knife, the eyes. And to the dismay of U.S. officials, the video comes despite months of airstrikes meant to cripple the terror group.
It's made them seem more heroic. They're expanding their influence.
You know, if you see me, if I'm on the news tomorrow, I've been arrested because I watched Jihadi John footage.
Their territory.
And tonight in Europe, police in at least 6 countries remain on.
But do you understand what I'm saying? David Cameron said on the record, if anyone is found to be watching the beheading, they will be immediately accused of being terrorists. Fucking hell. What a fucking joke, man. It's so mad. Right, carry on.
High alert, searching for other ISIS followers connected to the Paris attacks and conceding they may not be able to stop the next one.
Make better keep an eye on
well armed, loaded with cash, and masters of internet recruiting.
Yeah.
ISIS
other ISIS.
Keep an eye on that Eiffel Tower, man.
Followers connected to the Paris
attack. There's a guy from ISIS. He's threatening to cut people's heads off and that, like, and you know, better get the shit together, like, and like keep an eye.
Conceding they may.
Keep an eye on the Eiffel Tower, man. You know what I mean? Get the French Foreign Legion to keep an eye on the Eiffel Tower. Jihadi John might chop the top off it, like.
May not be able to stop the next one.
Well armed, loaded with cash, and masters of internet recruiting, ISIS has, in the last few months, emerged as the world's most.
What's he gonna do? Chop the Eiffel Tower down with his knife?
Wanted group of terrorists. David, just a year ago, in his last State of the Union address, the president did not even refer to them by name.
Do you not see something like British television, British news is starting to look more like American news as every day goes by, isn't it? Right. Now, we got to get on this clip and that, like, that just finishes, right? And then we go back to the one where it's a leaked footage one, right? That's what you got to do. No one talks about this clip, do they, guys? Do you understand? There it is. Look, you see, you just got to type in. No one mentions it. No one wants us. The news, the whole media, everyone, like The Crown. I've got to say it's The Crown, right, guys? MI6. They want us all to forget about this. You know what I mean? I think this shit was the beginning of the censorship. Here you go. You see what I'm saying, man? Watch this and question it if you are a terrorist. Innit, man? You see what they've done, the whole psyop? It's the military are behind all of this, you know what I mean? Right, where is it? Look, it hasn't disappeared. This is why you got to be quick with this, guys. It might disappear. All right. So here we go again. Let's make. Could I be wrong? Could this be someone pretending to be Jihadi John, so that we think it's on a stage set? You know what I mean? Fucking, pardon me, French guys. God, swear, it's so absurd, like. But yeah, it's the beginning of the war on terror, censorship, right? Islamophobia. I mean, all kinds of things are going on here, man. See, now they're prepared and they're going like, right, all you got to do is make it look like you're chopping his head off. That's the bit when he's meant to be talking, isn't it? Like, and he'd have the, like, even when he's talking, obviously, even when, you know, his voice was on the original footage going, your government must give us 55 pence or we will, you know, he must be just pretending to talk there, mustn't he? He's just like, and they're just getting him to go through the motions leading up to, with the green screen behind him or whatever, going through the motions leading up to the cutting off his, chopping his head off. Whatever that is. I haven't seen that. Have you seen the beheading, Phil, by any chance? I'm not like trying to get everyone in trouble. You know, anyone who's watching this now, has anyone seen that beheading? Because I haven't actually seen it yet, right? I wanted to make sure that they couldn't arrest me, basically. I thought, if I watch that, say I dig it up and I watch it, I bet you someone knocks on my door with a, you know, dressed in Kevlar, like. And that's the bit, like, isn't it, where his head's be meant to be off, like, and he's like, yeah, he's just like composing himself now, and I haven't watched it. See, so you haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. We weren't like that curious, were we? Obviously. But the fact is, it would look really fake, wouldn't it? Now, I don't know where I could find it or watch it. I would like to do a video about it, you know what I mean? And maybe dub my own head into it, you know what I'm saying? I was hoping to find a copy of it and put me on it, like, because, like, I would have done, like, Jihadi John going, we don't like this man's demos being played on YouTube. We're getting fed up with listening to Bruce playing his music. So we decided to take his head off, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, man. But I think it's a major point, isn't it? You know, the points I'm making about the media and the news lying. It just looks more and more absurd the more clips you watch of this. It really does. Every clip of this thing, it looks absurd. What's the other one? Any more? ISIS hostage pleas for prisoner swapping. New video. Let's see what this one's doing.
We're to turn this evening to the chilling new video from ISIS tonight. The hostage delivering what could be his final message, given just 24 hours to live unless
this
new
is going to become like
met.
funnier than
ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross.
These news reports are going to be like funnier than Monty Python, aren't they?
I've been told this is my last message.
Wearing an orange jumpsuit and shackles, the Japanese journalist Kenji Goto was forced to read his own death sentence today in a stark video without the usual ISIS flourishes, holding a photo of a captured Jordanian pilot who he said was also facing execution.
I only have 24 hours left to live, and the pilot has even less.
In Tokyo, the journalist's mother pleaded with the Japanese government to do whatever it takes. What ISIS says it wants is for this failed female suicide bomber, an Iraqi woman by the name of Sajida al-Rishawi, on death row in Jordan, to be set free there.
What ISIS wants is for people to treat them like a state. It's in Jordan's interest not to treat them like a state.
ISIS initially demanded a $200 million ransom for Goto and a second Japanese citizen, a self-described war adventurer, Haruna Yakawa. When the ransom demand was rejected, ISIS killed the adventurer and forced Goto to read the new demands for the prisoner swap.
It is me for her.
Like Trump, I'm not like a big Trump fan or nothing like that, but he was emphasising the fake news, wasn't he? He was saying it all the time. Fake news, fake news. He actually was well aware of it, man.
What seems to be so difficult
How many clips did we see of Trump that were fake, I wonder?
And no word at this hour from Jordan or Japan.
You see a clip of Donald Trump, like, grabbing some chick's ass at a bus stop. He's like, I'm the president. I think I can grab this chick's ass. You know, and then it's like, Donald Trump today was seen grabbing a chick's ass at a bus stop. It's all CGI, like.
Japan, and tonight, David, time is running out for these ISIS hostages.
Time is running out, man. Time is running out for the hostages. The lecky might run out or something. Is that what they're saying? Time running out. They're going to get their heads chopped off. Yeah, right. Okay. All right, what's this one? Let's see. Yeah, Israeli comedians take you to... Let's see this. Let's have a laugh.
President Obama, your policy against the Islamic State has brought us once again to kill an American citizen. Under those circumstances. Under those circumstances. God. Circumstances. Under those circumstances. I said it good. Yes?
Continuity now. Take 47. Action.
Okay, it's 3 minutes. I can't say watch it. I might get my video blocked, mightn't I, for watching other people's videos, you know what I mean? Okay, hunting ISIS executioner Jihadi John. We'll watch one more clip, eh? I'll wrap it up in a minute, guys. I just wanted to make this point. Does it not cover the treatment of Palestinians also? Exactly. Wow, Phil, we're on the same wavelength, aren't we? You know what I mean? We get in trouble for just saying the word Palestinians in this world, you know what I mean? But it's true, isn't it, man? Yeah, here's an interesting fact of life I've learned over the years, right? Like, you know, I'm not anti-Israel or nothing like that, or anti-Semitic or anything like that. None, you know, but I know about how dodgy Israel is, right? And one of the craziest things I've seen in a documentary, one of the first things that made me think, oh my word, Israel's like really, like kind of, what's the word, below the belt, you know what I mean? I've seen an interview with an ex-Israeli trooper, you know, he used to be in the Israeli army, right? And he admitted, he said that, you know, when the Israeli forces ordered a load of new, you know, the Heckler and Koch machine guns, the HKs, what like the forces use and that, like the top-notch machine guns, right? When Israel bought a load of brand new machine guns for the Israeli forces, right, they had a load of Kalashnikovs to get rid of, you know, AK-47s, right? And this guy said, this is an ex-Israeli soldier, and he said, we were supposed to destroy those AK-47s, as you suppose, you know, destroy them, you know what I mean? They sold the AK-47s to the Palestinians, pretending to be weapons dealers, do you know what I mean? So that, like, as soon as those weapons were in the hands of the Palestinians, they could start attacking them and saying, they're going to kill us, they've got guns, look. And they were AK-47s sold to them cheap by the Israeli army. I mean, how about that for a fact of life? This was a confession from an Israeli soldier, you know what I mean? All the AK-47s that all the Palestinians were wielding were once held by Israeli soldiers. Now, isn't that a terrifying concept, like? Do you get me? It's an example of putting the weapons in the hands, and then they could say, oh, they're planning on killing us now, we better do something. You know, I've got loads of points of view that I can, you know. All right, let's watch this.
U.S. intelligence
Let's have a laugh.
officials believe
Let's have a bit
that
of a
the
laugh.
ISIS executioner, known as Jihadi John, is also responsible for the beheadings of Americans James Foley and Stephen Sotloff, and British nationals David Haines and Alan Hinney.
Jihadi John is definitely a marked man. The world's intelligence agencies would love to get to him.
He's believed to have lived in London and had ties to extremists living there, according to U.S. intelligence officials.
You claim to have withdrawn from Iraq 4 years ago.
Investigators have used voice analysis to trace his British
Voice analysis.
accent and used human sources
sounds like
to
Sacha
try and
Cohen.
pinpoint his identity.
He's believed to have been based around Raqqa, the ISIS headquarters town in Syria, which is a real stronghold for them.
ISIS has ratcheted up the brutality in its latest video, appearing to show multiple beheadings of Syrian soldiers. But in a first, the video does not show the hostage, Peter Kasich, prior to his death. Experts say the video shows that ISIS may be wary of coalition airstrikes.
They're afraid that having multiple cameras out in the open could serve as a giveaway for people targeting them from the sky.
The news in it's absurd. Right, so, having said that, okay, let's return back to me largest. We've had a laugh there. I think we've pointed out the proof of how absurd that is. Like, so really, basically, people have to watch that, right? Now, when you realise that thing, I assume it's real footage. When you realise that was done on a stage, and you see the footage of it being filmed, secretly leaked footage, remember, it makes the whole thing seem mad, right? Now, those war zones were what started the migrants. The war zones where all that was coming from, ISIS was the cause of the migrants. The migrants all came through Europe and ended up going through France, Britain, Sweden, Germany, wherever. And then everyone's complaining that there's too many migrants everywhere and we've got to do something about it. Do you know what I mean? There's someone very evil out there, isn't there? What's behind all this? It's very evil, man. And they probably haven't got a care in the world for migrants, you know what I mean? They don't care. It's just cruel. It's just pure evil. So anyway, what time is it? It's 23:45, so I'll get off. I just thought it was a very important point, right? So you think of the chain reaction, Jihadi John, Syria, all those areas, all the migrants heading out into Europe, blah, blah, blah. Then we get Brexit, right? We've got Brexit, which I think is ridiculous, but the people won't be happy until they get what they want, if you know what I mean. They're going, but we got all these migrants coming over. No, nothing to do with the Royal Air Force, nothing to do with the American military, the US Air Force, nothing to do with the governments of America and Britain or whatever. Like, this is all down to the migrants themselves, isn't it? It's all their fault. Like, they've done all that. Like, they've created Jihadi John on a stage set with the CIA. You know, all this. Right, now we've got the Brexit thing, right, which brings us right up to date. Right now, what have we got going on? Brexit is just about to go through. Thanks, Phil, yeah. Sense and sensibility, isn't it, man? You know what I mean? What I'm saying. So now we've got Brexit just about to start, haven't we? Right, what's it looking like at the moment, guys? What have Europe just done? They're like, fuck you, Britain. If you want Brexit, we're going to cut you off proper. Do you know what I mean? It's not our fault. I didn't vote. I didn't vote for anything. I was like, I think Brexit was a mistake because of it. Why did we build a tunnel, a channel tunnel, going from Britain to France when all this was going to remain? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, isn't it? We can't undo the tunnel, like. Well, I suppose they can in a way, like. But it's led to what we've got now, right? Now we've got Europe all being cut off. Christmas is being cancelled or whatever, right? I really don't do Christmas. You know me, I do Christmases every single day of the year for me, like, you know what I mean? I'm always celebrating. I always celebrate the creator, and I'm like, whew, you know what I mean? I'm happy all the time, all year round, like. It's my uncle's birthday, isn't it, Christmas? You know, Uncle Noel. It's Uncle Noel's birthday. That's what Christmas is to me. That was a special day, wasn't it? You know, we all knew Noel, you know what I mean? So, do you see where we've come now to the future? We've got, like, now the Jihadi John thing is like a massive catalyst, isn't it? You know? And then we've got, like, Osama bin Laden. After Osama bin Laden was assassinated, you know, I actually saw some young lad in one of the courses in town. I was on one of the courses, you know, where the doll made us go on one of the courses, bricklaying and stuff. And there was this young lad, he was only about 18, and he had a newspaper, right? And he was looking through the paper and he saw the picture, you know, the picture of Osama bin Laden, the famous picture of his dead body with, like, the face all bruised and everything. And I was just watching him read it, and he goes, this picture, yeah. And he recognised this straight away. He went, that's fake. That's an old picture. And they've dubbed all the bruises on him and everything. And he's like, that's a fake. And he was only a young lad. And he was going, what the fuck are the military trying to tell us with all this if this is all fake? You know what I mean? Makes us all ask questions, doesn't it? Like, who's behind all this warmongering, man? That is completely unnecessary, isn't it? You know what I mean? Completely unnecessary. It's wasting money on weapons, isn't it? They wasted loads of money, British revenue, loads. We'd almost paid off our national debt. You know, Britain had almost had no debts whatsoever up until these wars started, you know what I mean? So it's trying to skin Britain alive, isn't it? And take away its collateral and all its revenue and everything. That's what's going on. I think Europe is rejecting us, isn't it, now? Because we voted for Brexit, which is not a universal thought for all of us, is it? You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, you know, they've caused all the immigrants and the migrants, haven't they? The warmongers, the warlords, you know? So, there you go. I just wanted to sum it all up, and I want people to realise, I know a lot of people don't talk about that faked stage, because when I asked my brother about it, you know, he told me he saw the beheading and he said it looked fake. When I said, haven't you seen the clip yet of the stage set that shows that it actually is fake? You know? No one's paying attention, because once this becomes big in people's minds, it's going to start making people ask questions about what's going on right now, isn't it? You get me? Like, it's a snowball rolling down a hill, isn't it, basically? It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and, you know, who knows, we might all jump in a spaceship and go to another planet. I don't know how it's going to end, you know what I mean? Something's going down, isn't it? So anyway, I'll get off then. We've done an hour. I think we've been on for 50 odd minutes. So yeah, I'll get off just in case I don't get cut off again. Like, you know, that goth woman, the goth woman with the demonic eyes, she might cut me off again or something, because I think she did something to me there for me chat. It just went off all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Because I mentioned the goth. I wasn't even having a go at the girl herself. I was pointing out the fact that demons are in the mirrors, making goths put the makeup on, and it makes them, then they hate themselves and want to kill themselves and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Strange world. Strange world indeed. Okay, thanks for watching. And yeah, nice one, Phil, for staying in and backing me up on this one. And there's 3 viewers at the moment, so I don't know who else is watching, but whoever you are, thanks for watching. And I'll get off for tonight and get ready for bed. And yeah, I'm taking a little break on the beer reviews because I've got to lose some weight, basically. I want to drink and drink and drink and drink, and I've got to lose some weight first, you know what I mean? Alright, good night, Phil. And anyone else who's watching, thanks for watching. And I'll be back very soon with some more serious issues. But please spread this message, share it far and wide. Get everyone to remember the Jihadi John circumstance. And who the hell would they kill him when they sent the drones after him? It probably really was. They probably really bumped him off, didn't they? You know what I mean? He probably was like Obama, you know, Bin Laden was one of them. He's probably the same, and it bumped him off and hope no one remembers, you know what I mean? But I've just reminded everyone. So, okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.